Shehzad Poonawala, the point both Tehseen Poonawala and Syed Asad Abbas raised, why this artificial cutoff date of December 31, 2014? Why not even now?
Let me address that question. First of all, Gaurav, you know, at the beginning of this debate, you played the bites of Mr. Kejriwal, who said, "Ye laane wale hai, ye la rahe hain," which means he is against the fact that anybody, even before 2014, should be given the citizenship. And here you have two people who are allegedly arguing on their side, but are saying get them even after 2014. So what is their stand? Are you saying that you should continue to bring those who are seemingly now persecuted even now? Or are you saying that जो लाए हैं 2014 की cut off date से पहले वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा है? Please, one at a time. Don't shout, don't scream. This is Gaurav's show. We can have a sane conversation. So first of all, what is their position? Is Arvind Kejriwal right, official, or is unofficial right कि अभी जो है उनको क्यों नहीं ला रहे? Now, अभी जो है उनको क्यों नहीं ला रहे उसका भी मैं जवाब देता हूं. This is not an artificial cut-off date. Gaurav Sawant, this is a date discussed and decided upon by the sovereign, the Parliament of India. The Parliament of India, in its wisdom, has decided that now the law which we were supposed to bring decades ago, as advocated by Mahatma Gandhi and as advocated by the Parliamentary Committee, which also talks about having a specific window and a specific criteria, that has been put in place. If there is a further need tomorrow, Parliament is well within its wisdom to come and deliberate upon the matter, and I would suggest that the remaining few MPs of the Congress who might or may get elected, AAP will have none, they must go and suggest that if they want still more people to be brought in, they must suggest for an extension in the cut-off date. But that's a future thing for Parliament to deliberate upon.
Okay.
But I have something more important to ask, and this is the hypocrisy that needs to be pointed out politically. On the one hand, this is the brigade which will sit on your 9 PM debates and say, Islamophobia dekho, ye Indian Muslim yahan जी नहीं सकता और इनको अफगानिस्तान का मुस्लिम इधर लाना है, पाकिस्तान का मुस्लिम इधर लाना है. क्या पाकिस्तान का मुस्लिम पाकिस्तान में रिलीजियस बेसिस पे डिस्क्रिमिनेट हो रहा है क्या? नाउ दे विल कम अप विद अहमदिया एग्जांपल. अहमदिया इज हैविंग सेक्टेरियन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बाय द वे. And secondly, please tell me that who will be discriminated on religious basis in Afghanistan or in Pakistan or in Bangladesh? It will be the non-Muslims. So for that an arrangement has been made. If this is discriminatory and communal, why is Uddhav Sena supporting it? He's your ally. Why has it been proposed by Congress party? इसीलिए थोड़ा logic से बोले.
Tehseen Poonawala, the Home Minister also made it very clear. Okay, yeah, Muslims carved a country for themselves in 1947. They took Pakistan at the time of they said they want their Nizam-e-Mustafa, they want their Pakistan, they have their Pakistan. But why are Indian Muslims now saying Muslims ko bhi yahan par Pakistani Muslims ko bhi accelerated citizenship do? Tehseen?
No, that's a let me just first thank you, Gaurav. Let me just get all the facts out. The BJP spokesperson refused to answer my question and your question, that why or not, if 2014 is the cutoff date, in 2025 anyways they would have got citizenship because the 11-year waiting period. He refused to answer the question of what they've done. Now let me expose him further out here rather than wasting time on the language that he was using about damad and official, unofficial. Do you know, Gaurav, and I know you've read the law, so has Raghav, for whom I have a lot of respect. The law nowhere says, neither in the law or in the rules, persecuted religious persecution. The word isn't there. Sure, it's in the intent that was passed in Parliament. The law itself and the rules do not say religious persecution. How are you going to prove religious persecution? Please understand, Gaurav, somebody who's fled from, say, Bangladesh, Afghanistan or Pakistan, they've somehow managed to make some ID because they fled here. How is somebody who's genuinely persecuted religiously, how are they going to make identities? They'll have no identity, they'll have no iCard. Then he used the word damad, presumably for the Rohingyas, who are basically suffering, whether Muslims or Hindus, saying a Rohingya ko damad bana kar yahan rakhna chahte. No, sir. Gaurav, let me take you and the India Today report. Tushar Mehta said this in the Supreme Court. If there is criminal antecedents, we will deport them, but we have given them the United Nations Human Rights Card. This is Tushar Mehta. Tushar Mehta is who's damad? Is he a damad? What kind of language are you using on the show? Because you can't answer questions. If you cared about these people, for 10 years, Gaurav's covered them. Why didn't you make their lives better by giving them facilities? You refuse to do that. The only reason this entire debate, the BJP keeps harping upon Muslims is because it wants to polarize. One last thing. If you are so concerned about human rights, I'm ending it here, Gaurav. Why doesn't just one second, Gaurav, I'm ending. Yes. I'm ending here. I'm ending. I just have one line. If he was so concerned, if the BJP was so concerned about human rights, which I hope they are, why didn't they add atheists? Atheists are religiously persecuted in Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Why didn't you add atheists? Atheists like me who would be killed there? look, don't come here and make this Hindu-Muslim. You have failed the constitution, you failed the Hindus, you failed everybody who's come here for persecution, and you sit on national TV and you call them damad. That's not acceptable, sir.
Okay, quickly, Shehzad Poonawala, to rebut, you wanted to come in, before that, then I bring in Raghav Avasthi. Go on, Shehzad.
Tehseen Poonawala, and I hope he won't interrupt me, should have shown half the damn outrage he shows right now when Arvind Kejriwal labeled all the Hindus, Sikhs, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, the most peaceful communities, as rapists and chores. Did he show the same aggression? No. And I will call Rohingyas what they ought to be called, because my government of India has declared them as a national security threat. Therefore, you understand this. Yes, as an obligation under United Nations, they must have been given a card, but that is what it ends at. But the Aam Aadmi Party government, which talks about resources being given to Pakistani Hindus, are the one who are providing rations to them, and they said this in the High Court. But Tehseen Poonawala, you don't have the gumption to call that out, because you will come here and take a different stand. And having said that, you said the last 5 years have been wasted. Tehseen Poonawala, was COVID a choosing of ours? COVID happened even when COVID happened. Please go and see the news reports. The FRRO arrangement of giving long-term visas to those who were already here under the because of the religious persecution on long-term visas, they were here. They were given extensions, and this was done multiple amounts of times. So therefore, there was no injustice meted out to them in the last 5 years. In fact, they were given this provision. Now they have been given a full-fledged measure of taking citizenship. And I come back again, Tehseen Poonawala. If you felt all of these arrangements are bad, then why is it that the UPA government did not follow the advice you are giving on Gaurav Sawant's show?